What's going on? It's your boy Adam. Chaos to come back. 58.79 miles on the bicycle today. Tired. Tired, that's for sure. I enjoy the bicycling, generally speaking. It Can we round it up to 60? I don't know, 59, 58 point, whatever. It was 59 almost 59 miles today to go look at a place to live. It was decent. Very secluded. I actually looked at two places, ironically, but they were right next to each other. Very secluded, out in the woods, surrounded by nature, like really like way out there, but not too far. From like, it's I can't even explain it, but it's like, it was on a dirt road that was such dirt that I was having a hard time riding my bike down it. And there are a couple little cabins back there, and the guy's renting them out. And they were beautiful, but they need to be cleaned. But that's fine. I would turn either one of them I would turn into a beautiful place. Really, really cool, like, potential. The downsides are I'd have to pay the electric bill and mow the yard myself or pay somebody to mow the yard. But it's kind of like it's in the woods. So the yard is just like patches of grass. It's not like a yard. It's hard to explain. Like, I could walk around with a weed whacker or a string trimmer and that would be all it would need. And I could just, I have a string trimmer in a garage up in Pittsburgh, but I'm not going to get that. I could possibly have it sent to me along with all the batteries. It's a Ryobi system. But I mean, for the amount of money it would cost to ship it and everything else, I can get a string trimmer. I can get one. I don't have a car, so I'd have to order online. But that's not a big deal. The things that bother me are the appliances. One of the cabins has a refrigerator, but the guy said if the refrigerator doesn't work, I have to buy all the appliances. If the stove doesn't work, he said he would make sure that the burners work, but the oven he wouldn't. It was kind of a weird, like, it was a nice, like, the places were in decent condition. But the appliances would be on me. Now, it's basically, so the appliances would be, there's washer and dryer hookups in both units, but I'd have to get a washer and a dryer. So there's a potential that I would have to buy a washer, a dryer, a fridge, and an oven and stove. A stove oven range combo. Electric. That's a lot of shit to deal with, especially when I don't have a vehicle to lug shit around with. Now, as far as, like, getting, like, a basic washer and dryer, I can get on, all that stuff you can get on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, cheap. I just shared a story about how I needed a part for an oven, and I looked up the part online, and it was going to be $50. My range worked. The oven wouldn't work. It wouldn't turn on. I forget what part it was, like some sort of, like, I don't know, it was a $50 part. I went on Craigslist, and I went to the free section of Craigslist to see if anybody was giving away a stove. Somebody had the exact same stove identical in every way except for the color. Mine was white, this one was beige. I was like, okay, fine. I'll get a beige one. A good friend of mine and we went and picked it up, brought it back to the house. Ordering the thing online would have been $50 and I would have had to wait like up to 2 weeks to get it in the mail. Instead, the same day that the oven broke, I had a new oven in place. I mean, it was just a matter of swapping. Everything was the same. So it was just pull the old one out, put the new one in. There was nothing I needed to do. And then I plucked all of the possible parts that I might, like I just pulled every part off of the old oven that might come in handy. And I never actually needed the parts. And when I moved out of the place, I left the oven there as part of, the landlord wasn't a total douchebag, but we were having some beef when I moved out. And, the oven was there when I moved in. And so when I moved out, I left the oven. I told him that I replaced the oven, and the place didn't have a refrigerator when I moved in. It's another one of those kind of things. But I got a refrigerator for free and just brought it in. On the day I moved in, I had an extra refrigerator at my old house, and the landlord there didn't give a shit. He told me I was doing him a favor by getting rid of it. So I took it and put it in my new place. And so I left a refrigerator and the oven. And the funny thing is the colors matched when I replaced the oven with the beige one. It matched the refrigerator. It was kind of in the whole kitchen ensemble. It was all matching. And so, okay, fine. Ended up working out pretty good. So, like, there's a potential I could get free appliances on Craigslist. Washer, dryer, oven, fridge. It's moving things around and without a pickup truck or a way to move it. That's the problem. So anyway, that is the trade-off. It's expensive. The down payment is expensive. The landlord asked me if I had a criminal background, and when I told him what I did, he's like, now I really want you to be my tenant. He wanted to shake my hand. He was like, oh, we're all patriotic over here. We love Donald Trump. You're like, everybody tells me I'm like their hero when I tell them what I did. And I'm like, why can't somebody I'm looking for a job with be like that? Every time I meet one of these landlords and I tell them, or anytime I have to talk about my criminal background, in any capacity that doesn't have to do with looking for a job, they're all like, oh my God, they put you in prison for that? They're like, oh, you're one of us. Oh, welcome to the crowd. Welcome to the club. You're cool. Oh my God. Now, this landlord literally said, he's like, I really want you to be my tenant now that I know that. He's like, I think we'll get along just fine. And I'm like, that's great, but I don't mind. Like I said, it's not that I don't mind buying my own appliances. The places were unique, very private. I could leave the windows. I wouldn't have to put curtains on the windows. Nobody's gonna know what's going on inside. It was like it would be like living in a campground area. It would be like living in a camp in the Allegheny National Forest. It would be like that, living in a cabin campsite kind of thing. It was dope. Both of the places. One I thought was better than the other. The cheaper one I thought was better. But there was one that was a little more expensive, but he includes all the utilities. I wouldn't have to pay any utility bills. Keep the yard trim, and another one where I would just, It's basically sand with patches of grass. Texas East Coast sand, just like Florida yards, but it's in the woods. Like most of Houston is in the woods. It's wooded. It's like a forest. It's a lot like Western New York and Pennsylvania. It doesn't really feel any different in terms of the tree. The trees are different, but it doesn't really feel any different from being back up there. It doesn't have that tropical climate, shrubbery, the saw palmettos and palm trees and all that kind of shit. It feels like woods. It's very typical of what you'd see in the Northeast. But the sand, the ground is sand everywhere you go. So, but because of the tree cover at this place, it's patchy. There's no yard. But it's a nice place. Could have some nice backyard fires and all that kind of stuff. It was definitely it would be a cool place to live. But money-wise, holy crap. How much it's gonna completely destroy me financially to move into one of these. First month's rent, security deposit, whatever appliances, so I can do laundry, so I can have a refrigerator. If the refrigerator works in the one place, okay, fine. If the stovetop burners work and the oven doesn't, fine. I can at least work with that to get started. If the other place had a nice oven range combo that looked like it would actually be a nice one, but from what I remember, it didn't have a fridge. I'd have to buy a fridge. I mean, it's already going to be close to $2,000 just to move in. Plus, I got to buy a fridge. Plus, I got to do this. Plus, I got to hook up the electric bill. They might want a $300 security deposit with my shitty, destroyed credit. So, I might be in like $3,000 just to move. Just to get in the door. And then what? I don't even know. I don't even know. And the guy wasn't trying to pressure me, but I said, what if I gave you some money to hold it until May 1st? June 1st at this point, because tomorrow's the last day of April. That's a tall order to try and move in one fucking day. So that's where I have to kind of negotiate. The guy said he wouldn't hold it for any longer than 2 weeks. If I gave him enough money to hold the place, he won't hold it for more than 2 weeks. And I'm like, so you'll let me move in the middle of the month? And he goes, yeah. And then he said something about you have to have the first month's rent and the security deposit to move in. But then at the first of the month, at the end of the month, you would owe the prorated amount for the half month. Or I really don't. None of it really I got to think about what he said because it didn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, it would be a ton of money. A ton of fucking money. I would need the first month's rent plus a security deposit to move in at the middle of the month. A full month's rent plus a full security deposit, a full month's rent, 2 months' rent, just to move in. And then 2 weeks later, I'd have to cough up half a month's rent to get through the next month. And that would pay for the half month plus the month and the security deposit when it all evens out. And I would have to come up with all of that fucking money in 2 weeks. I don't even know. It's too fucking much money. It's too much. But this is where this place has been listed for a bit. And, but not long. I don't think they're gonna, I think somebody will rent these. So, I'm not, first come, first serve. But he actually was after we talked for a while, he was like, I think you'd be a really good tenant and, la da 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 da. And I'm like, all right, maybe we can work something out. So what I have to do tomorrow, I got the internet service provider. I did see coax hookups in the place. I saw 2 or 3 coax jacks in the wall. So I'm pretty sure that there's cable-based internet, which is totally fine. I don't care. They said fiber optic is being installed. I'm like, I just need something fast enough. Cable's more than fast enough. Fiber's faster, but cable is fast enough for anything I need to do. I did check the T-Mobile connection speed. Now, T-Mobile, for my wireless gateway, the home internet, the house right next door, literally, I could look out the window. There's a house like 50 feet away, through the woods, through some bushes. It's still private setting. Maybe it's 100 feet. It's right there. You can see the next door neighbor. That house shows up on T-Mobile as being available for their service. The house I would be moving into does not. Literally, that's where they drew the line, somewhere between those two houses. That house is good, my house, no. But I got a speed test with my phone, which also runs on T-Mobile, and the speeds were, they were okay. They weren't great, but they weren't awful, and the router usually gets better speeds than the phone, the wireless gateway, because it has a bigger antenna, and it's a little better. So, feasibly, I could move into the place and take my internet with me and get the cable or whatever hooked up. But I got to make some calls. I'm going to call tomorrow and see see if the house is ready to go. Because if the house is already wired for cable internet, then all they got to do is send you a cable modem. And if I bring my own router, which I don't have a router, but I could get one, it's better to get your own than to get one from the cable company. If I got my own router, all they would have to do is send a cable modem to plug into the wall. You're good to go. If they don't have to come and run an actual wire, you should be good to go. They'll send you that shit in the mail and you could just plug it in and go. But yeah, I gotta call the company. I found out who the electric provider is. I could call the electric company and see if I would have to pay a deposit to get it hooked up. And I would just call and say, look, I'm thinking about moving into this house. I'm not 100% sure. How much would it cost to get my electric turned on and in my name on such and such date? And what is the average bill for this residence? So they can tell you what the average bill is per month. If you ask them, they know. They know what it costs. Now, obviously, the bill's going to depend on what you do. It's going to cost more if you run the AC 24/7 than if you leave it turned off when you're not home. I'm definitely interested in these places. The other place that I looked at, so there's another place. So now I guess that's 2 places. I'm going to count it as one because it's the same. They're right next door to each other. But this other place that's close to where I live now, I would also have to pay the electric bill, but it will have a refrigerator, a stove. It'll have the basics. There's no washer and dryer hookups. So laundry is a problem. There's a laundromat like 2 miles away. So I'm going to constantly have to go do laundry at a fucking laundromat every week. The only saving grace is that it doesn't matter. Like, those washing machines are so big that it'll be one load. Like, I'm looking at a huge pile of laundry right now because I haven't done I'm way behind on shit because of this fucking shit show here with the hot water. And like, how many, you want to know how many fucking miles I've gone biking without taking a shower? It's a fucking it's an amazing smell. Um, it's an absolutely amazing smell. Supposedly, I'm supposed to have hot water tomorrow. Last day of the month. Imagine that. 3 whole fucking months without hot water. But I'm kind of like, at this point, I'm like, I just don't see. It's like something's nagging me. God, it's like I'm just feeling spiritually like maybe I should. I don't know. Tomorrow's going to tell me a lot, but tomorrow's the last day of the month. So moving on the last day of the month isn't even feasible anymore. If I had to pack everything and rush out the door in one day, I could. It would be a miserable, miserable day. But I could do it. But packing everything, getting a rental truck, getting everything all ready to go, loading it in, moving it, all that, it's just not feasible at this point. So I think what I am going to try and do is I'm gonna do the homework, find out the internet and electric tomorrow for this place. See what it would take. See how much money I got to put in just for that. Know what if the electric company is going to ask for a down payment, it could be up to $300 that I would have to pay just before getting a security deposit before getting my electric turned on. I can find that out. That would give me enough ammunition to I would know the numbers. I'll know how much I have. I know what my bills are. If I have to pay this motherfucker for another month here, I don't want to move in the middle of the month and pay for a whole month here. So I can't afford to pay another month here and then 2 months rent at the other place in order to move in the middle of the month. I can't afford that. That's like coming up with 3 months rent in one fucking shot. I just don't even have I don't have the money for that. This all came at me April 3rd. This fucking piece of shit dropped all this shit on me. What was it? What is it now? It is April 29th. 26 days ago, I've had 26 days to try and figure out how to fucking get out of this mess. And scramble to come up with as much money as I can. And I'm barely able to do it. And I can't really do it, but I don't know. If I had money, I wouldn't even be looking for, I would be moving into a better place. There's another place that popped up that I could go look at. It's not too far away from where I live now. It's closer into Houston. I don't even know. The person was supposed to call me today. Maybe they tried to and I wasn't available, but I didn't get any messages about it. And at some point, I'll just, we'll see what happens. Money-wise, though, it was actually economical. It's cheaper than this place. I don't know if it would be big enough. I don't know. I don't know. It might not be. I don't. I'll just have to see. I would have to go and see. Definitely had a cool vibe to it, but it's hard to know for sure. It would be a longer bike ride to the bay. I don't have any choices. I'm looking whatever's available at this point. There's no app out there that works where you can like search by an area that you want to go and see what's available. None of them work right. Somebody else sent me a lead to another one that I have to call about and talk to somebody if I want to. I think it would actually be closer to where I work. I'll have to double check, but I think that the location is decent in terms of, I don't know. All I'm really saying is I'm looking at places, but okay, let's see. How long did this take to go look at one place today? I started at 2:00. Whoa, what's going on? This thing's gonna... I didn't get the low space warning in the video player, but it's probably gonna cut out here in a minute. It feels like I'm running out of space quicker and quicker and quicker on this phone. I don't know why. Because I keep the phone pretty clean, but I might have to go through and... What's going on? The video cut out. Ran out of space on the phone. Today was... I'm really starting to fall apart. Like, seriously fall apart. I cannot... In spite of... Yeah, so when the space ran out on the phone... Today was a waste. A complete waste of time. I'm noticing a pattern with my mood, with my optimism, with the way I feel in general, and today was a non-stop list of... If you ever had one of those days where literally everything that you go to do or everything that you attempt to do turns into a giant mess or a clusterfuck, literally every single thing, like to the point where it would have been better if you'd stayed in bed and never even got out of bed. Let's see, the phone. The USB-C charging port on the phone is starting to flake out. I don't know how much longer it's going to last. I've cleaned it out a few times, like with a plastic dental pick to just make sure there's no lint or anything in there. It started acting weird yesterday and today and last night. It's only charging. It's a USB-C plug, but it's only charging now if the plug is oriented in one direction versus the other. And it's flaking out, and it's like, it's really starting to concern me that I don't know how much longer I got with this phone. So on top of everything else going on, I might have to go buy another cell phone. So, that's hundreds of dollars in expenses on top of having to find a new place to live, on top of everything else. One of my bicycles needs about $100 worth of parts. My cycling shoes are falling apart, but I should be able to get those replaced on warranty. But I might have to buy a new pair while I'm waiting for the warranty to come in. I've got hundreds of dollars. It's no different than if I owned a car. Your car will break down unexpectedly. Oh, it's going to be $500, $1,000, whatever. It's one of those days. Today was one of those days. I don't really know why the phone is acting the way it's acting. I don't know if there's anything I can do to fix it or if it's truly just fucked. For now, I can make it work and limp along for a while. But that's kind of made me nervous because I can't afford a fucking phone right now. I can't afford a fucking phone. I can't afford to fucking move. I can't afford a car. I can't afford to live. I'm in fucking poverty, struggling to survive, literally struggling to survive one day to the next. And mentally, I just can't handle it anymore. I really can't. I've been through fucking absolute fucking hell. I've been through fucking hell. And it never fucking ends. Every fucking day is just fucking miserable and horrible to live through. It is absolutely... I have not had one moment of peace or enjoyment in a long fucking time. I have not. And I don't know how much longer I can do this. I really don't. This fucking shit. So many things happened today that I'm ripped apart. I'm ripped apart from it. I'm a fucking basket case right now. I've got to make some phone calls tomorrow, and anyway, I'm going to take a deep breath. And just try to get through this video. I didn't think I was going to have a breakdown when I turned on the camera. But I'm just going to let it go. Fuck it. Because it's the real deal. This is what happens when you when you go and fuck your life up like I did. Like I'm serving a life sentence of hell and misery for the rest of my life because of one stupid fucking mistake. One stupid mistake that took everything away from me. My career, my home, my kids, my friends, family, everything. Everything I ever fucking had. Everything. I have nothing. So here's the pattern. Like, there's a reason why I'm so down right now. I'm noticing this pattern. Every time I have to go on a long bicycle ride, 40 miles to the bakery, work all day, come home, I'm obliterated the next day. So Saturday, I go to the bakery, 40 miles bicycling, 8 hours of labor, come home, I'm obliterated. Sunday, absolutely wrecked. I get nothing done. Accomplish nothing. I can barely fucking walk. I can barely move. Monday, do it again. Monday is worse because I'm lifting all these heavy bags, boxes, all that stuff. Monday's usually worse. Tuesday, I'm obliterated, annihilated, completely worn out and destroyed from it. I get absolutely nothing done. Yesterday, I had to go on a 60-mile bicycle ride to go look at a place to try and move into to get out of this fucking nightmare. Oh, great, another fucking car driving by, shaking the fucking house with their loud-ass bullshit. Like, the whole house just shook. So anyway, 60-mile bicycle ride yesterday. Came back, didn't get back until, left at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, didn't get back until 9 in the evening. So, this is what not having a car is doing. Every time I have to do anything that involves going somewhere, having to be someplace, having to ride a bicycle to get there because there's no other fucking way to go. No, I can't afford to take a fucking Uber every time I gotta go 20 miles. How much does a 60-mile fucking Uber trip cost? Do the fucking math. I can't afford anything anymore. So no, I can't. People are saying, just take Uber. To take a 10-mile fucking Uber trip to go on a job interview, I looked it up, it was going to be like $20. Each way, maybe. So no, I don't have $150 to spend every time I have to fucking go somewhere. People are like, oh, you could just rent a car when you got to do something. Yeah, it's $100 a fucking day or more. Plus, I have to ride my bicycle to the fucking car rental place. So what the fuck is the point? Yeah, just rent a fucking car every time I need to go on an errand. $100 a pop. Just take a fucking Uber every time you got to go somewhere. Every time I go to work, take a fucking Uber, they say. The fountain of wisdom that comes from these fucking comments. Take a fucking Uber. Spend $40 to $60 to take an Uber so I can go to a job where I make like 80 to $100 a day. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of fucking sense, don't it? So, but the one thing, aside from the fitness gains I get from the cycling and the fact that having two reliable bicycles to get where I need to go gives me a wider range to get around than walking did in Jamestown. My radius of travel in Jamestown was limited to about 5 to 6 miles at the most. If I had to go somewhere 6 miles away, I would have to walk. Each way, 12 miles. You ever walk 12 miles in a day carrying a heavy bag? You're going to be fucking tired from that. So now my radius is about 40 to 50 miles. I've yet to go on a 100-mile ride. It's just a matter of time where I'm going to have to ride 100 miles to do something here in Houston. But right now, 78's the top. Whatever 78 is divided by 250, 30 fucking, 30, whatever, 37 miles, was it? Some sport. I don't even fucking know. 35, 78 divided by 2, 30 something fucking miles each direction. And it turned out to be for nothing. I mean, I had to do it. I had to do it yesterday. But here's the loss of productivity. Every time I have to do something like that, I had to go on a job interview a few weeks back. It was like 18 miles each direction, and it was pretty hot that day. It was in the 90s. But just the logistics of it, getting down there, getting changed, the whole thing, it was a waste of time. At the end of the day, it was just another waste of time. But okay, normally going someplace that's 30 miles away. So let's just say if yesterday I went to look at a place to live, if I had a car, it would have taken me, I would have had to leave at like, I had to meet the guy at 6. I could have left at 5 o'clock and got there on time. No problem. I mean, even with traffic, I probably would have left at 4:30 to be there on time and just, I like to be early instead of late. So I'd like to give myself enough time to deal with whatever might happen, traffic-wise, everything else. But to go someplace that's about 30 miles away, it was 29 each way. So to go someplace 30 miles away, I'm going to give myself an hour normally. For something important, I would have given it an hour and a half and just, found something to occupy my time. But I ended up getting to the place a half hour early, and the guy pulled in at the same time as me. So it ended up working out a little bit. I got home earlier because of it, kind of. But I started getting ready to leave at 2 in the afternoon, and I didn't get home until 9 p.m. So that's, on the bicycle, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 7 hours on the bicycle and or looking at the places to live. So, and I got out to the area a little bit early, so I stopped and grabbed a bite to eat. Freaking McDonald's, but it was that, or there weren't many options, and I had to go someplace where I knew I could get my food and eat fast, because if I had to screw around at some place where I have to wait for them to make the food and sit there forever, there could have been a chance I would have been late to view the place. So I didn't really have a lot of options. I did go past the Chipotle on the way home, and I was like, if it wasn't so late, I was racing the sunset. I didn't want to have to ride this super ultra dangerous road. I don't want to change topics, but I read, the algorithm knows what you're talking about every day. So The over 80 people a year get killed on bicycles here in Houston on the roads. 80 people a year. Every year, 80 bicyclists are killed on the roads around here. It says road rage is on the rise here in Houston. The incidents of road rage where the cops have to respond are up like something like 80% right now. Over what period, I don't know. Fatal car accidents are probably the highest in the nation here. But 80 people a year get killed on a bicycle here in Houston. So that's probably how I'm going to die. If I don't find a car, I'm probably going to get killed out on my bicycle. This is how it's going to go. I believe it. The amount of fucking crazy shit I have to ride through and see every day when I'm on my bicycle, like the danger, I have never experienced. I'm telling you, me and my friend used to ride on the fucking interstate highways around Pittsburgh, on the fucking interstates. And I felt way safer riding on the interstate highways in Pittsburgh than I do riding on any fucking road or street in Houston. Hands down. Like, there's not even... This place is so fucking crazy. This place is so fucking crazy. I'm like blown away. I fucking hate it here. I absolutely hate living in Houston. I just can't shake this. I'm really not impressed by this place. I think it's a fucking dump. I think Texas fucking sucks. Everything about this fucking place and anything to try and do here to try and get my life set up, even from anything, getting my driver's license to anything. Anything is driving around, trying to find your way from point A to B. The fact that these fucking slumlords can put up a cardboard box in their backyard, run an extension cord from the house, and call it a fucking apartment for rent, and that flies. That's totally fine with the state of Texas. This place is a fucking shithole. I fucking hate this place. I fucking hate Texas. I am not a fan. I've never really met anybody from Texas that I like. I think they all have a shitty attitude. I don't know. I don't know why I'm here. I really can't figure it out. I feel like God brought me here. When I got here, I felt like I was here for a reason. Now I'm just, what the fuck am I here for? What the fuck did I come down here for? I don't get it. Did I come down here to avoid winter because I'm stuck riding a fucking bicycle everywhere? Did God bring me down here just so I could avoid having to ride a bicycle in Jamestown when it's 30 below zero? I don't know, man. I don't know. So 7 hours. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 hours of lost time just to go look for a place for rent. 7 hours. Not, instead of, getting in the car and driving, that would have been like 3 hours of my life gone if I had to drive out there and back. 3 hours of my life gone. And sitting in a chair with a steering wheel, pushing a gas pedal with your foot is a little bit less taxing than riding a bicycle 60 fucking miles on the most dangerous roads you've ever encountered in your fucking life. And you're literally like, just every time you hear that fucking sound coming by your shoulder, you think that's the one that's going to kill you. You don't even, I'm used to it. I'm not afraid of it. I'm 80 to 90% sure I'm going to die on a bicycle here. But I don't care anymore. It's that bad. It's that bad to ride a bicycle here. It's fucking crazy. Like 80 people a year here get killed on bicycles on the roads. 80. I don't even know. People get killed in Pittsburgh on bicycles riding on the roads. It happens. I was in jail. I shared a jail cell with somebody who killed one. The guy who got hit, he was not following any kind of safety protocol whatsoever. I mean, I'm trying to keep myself I'm trying to keep myself as safe as I can. But the way these fucking people drive here, there's a bridge that I have to go over. I have to take last night. I'm on this tangent. I'm just going to go with it. I had to ride on the Route 45 access road. If any of you are from Houston, you know what that is. That's a suicide mission. That's That's one step away from committing suicide. Even though I don't want to die. Like, I don't want to get killed. But riding on that road, you're basically rolling the fucking dice. That's Russian roulette right there. That's putting one in the chamber. Click. Every time you fucking ride on that road. It's like putting a bullet in the chamber, spinning the fucking chamber, and pulling the trigger and hearing click if you make it home without getting killed. There's this one bridge that I have to ride over on that road. There's a sewer grate on the side of the road that's missing half of the grate. There's a hole that is bigger than my front wheel. And if you just happen to be looking off to the side or not paying it, like, I know where it is. And it's so extremely dangerous that I was worried about it the whole way coming up to it. So my mind is already focused on paying attention to the road, especially when I get to that bridge. I'm like, don't you dare take your eyes off this fucking road. And it's dark, and I'm using my lights to see in front of me. There's a sewer grating that's missing half of the grate. And if my front wheel were to hit that, boom, instant death. Death. That would be a death sentence. I would be number 81 killed this year. No doubt in my mind that if your front wheel hits that hole in the bridge, you're dead. Dead. Like, there's absolutely no way you're going to live through that. The front wheel's going to go straight into the hole. The fucking bicycle's going to be folded in half. You're going to go flipping over the fucking handlebars and roll out into the street, and a 18-wheeler is going to run right over you. That's how you're going to die. If your front wheel touches that fucking hole, you are dead. Dead. And there's so many things like that around here. There was one part where I had to swerve into a fucking lane, and there was this big fucking metal post sticking out of the road that you couldn't really see, and I missed it by like half an inch. This place is this is the most dangerous place I've ever ridden a bicycle in my life, and I've ridden a bicycle all over the fucking United States. And this place is so far beyond the most dangerous thing I've ever done on a bike. Mountain biking included. Some of the mountain biking rides that I've been on, flying down fucking mountains at 65 miles an hour on a fucking mountain bike, is less dangerous than riding on a fucking any road in Houston. This place is... I absolutely fucking hate it here. But I'm going to keep doing it because I got to do what I got to do. I would like to get to a point where I'm riding a bicycle for fun, but I cannot imagine ever wanting to ride a bicycle for fun here, anywhere, for any reason. It's not fun. It's horrible. I mean, maybe some roads are better than others, put it that way. The ride to and from the bakery, I've got it down to where it's manageable. There's a few dangerous stretches, but it's not even close to what I had to ride yesterday. Yesterday, there are stretches along, like, I had to psych myself up for a couple of those stretches because they're so dangerous. One of them is extremely dangerous, but yesterday there was a traffic jam, so I was able to split the lane and just fly right through the traffic jam and not have to worry about any... I did get squeezed in between a school bus and an 18-wheeler. They purposely, as I was riding between them, they purposely swerved into each other so that I got stuck. They were trying to crush me between a school bus and an 18-wheeler. And at some point, I was like, what do I do? Just get off the bike and crawl under the 18-wheeler to not get killed? Like, it's bad. It's bad here. I should start wearing a helmet camera, but it's so uncomfortable to wear that helmet cam with the GoPro camera sticking up off the top of my head. It makes the helmet just come... For a 60-mile bicycle ride, that would have been fucking hell. Plus, the battery in a GoPro camera will not last that long. I would have to take 3 batteries and change it all the time. So, alongside that, another stretch of the ride is there's this bridge. Part of the reason I had to go a certain way to get to this place yesterday is because on this one river, the bridges are about 30 miles apart. 25, 30 miles apart. So there's only one bridge that you can cross this river on with a bicycle. The other ones are interstates. So there's literally one bridge, probably in the whole fucking state of Texas, that you can cross this fucking river on. And so this bridge is like 2 miles long. It's huge. And it's just one 18-wheeler after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. It's so fucking loud you can't even hear yourself think. And I'm about a quarter mile across the bridge, and I realize my back tire's soft. And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? I turn around. I could see the contact patch on the rear tire was getting mushy, and I'm like, oh fuck. So I get off the bike real quick, and I feel it, and I'm like, slow leak, but I've got another 1 3/4 miles to go before I'm even off of this fucking bridge. And imagine the most hellish fucking highway you've ever ridden on. It's like an interstate crossing this bridge. It's not an interstate, but when you're on the actual bridge, it's literally 18-wheeler, 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 car, 18-wheeler, 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 car. It's just constant. People just flying by you at like 80 miles an hour. Loud, wind, obnoxious, holy fucking shit. And I'm like a quarter mile into a 2 mile long bridge of this. No place to stop and pull over and change a flat tire. And so I just I put my head down and just start barreling down this bridge as fast as I can go. And I get to where I'm probably about 1,000 feet from the edge of the bridge. I'm maybe a quarter mile to it. It had to be closer than that. I got pretty far. I was probably 1,000 feet from the end of the bridge. And I realized, I'm like, I can't ride on this back wheel anymore. Even though there's air in the tire, it's getting too mushy. I'm going to rip the sidewall of my tire, or I'm going to fuck up my rim. I'm going to make the situation worse. And then I'm going to be stranded out here. So I better just get off and walk. So, but there's no fucking way in hell I'm going to rip my bike apart on the side of this road with these and try to change a flat tire when I've got 150 18-wheelers going by me at 85 miles an hour. No. So I walk to the end of the bridge, and thankfully there was like a little bit of a slope, and there was some woods, a little patch of woods away from the road. And so when I get to the end of the bridge, I walk down this embankment, and I walk down to this patch of woods. I don't know why, but some fucking hillbillies must have been partying back there, because there were beer boxes and beer cans all over the place. So I don't know how people went back there or why. Like, what? Like, really, that's a good place to chill and fucking party? I don't get it. But there was a little patch of woods far enough away from the road that the noise from the road was shielded. And I was far enough from the road that I could take a deep breath and just chillax. I pulled my bike up against the tree. I grabbed a water bottle, took a nice big drink, took a deep breath, calmed down, popped off the back wheel, went through the whole process. First thing you do is you look at your tire. These are really puncture resistant tires. This is the second time I've had a puncture. First time I showed you guys, there was a nail sticking out of the tire. Pretty good nail, a whole nail, just boom, right in there. Well, yesterday's flat was caused by a staple, like a staple from your, like a home improvement store stapler, like a stapler that you would buy at Home Depot, like a wall stapler that you would be stapling whatever the fuck you're doing in a house project to, stapling stuff to walls. Putting up, like say you're hanging up Tyvek on the outside of a house it's been roughed. It's a house that's been framed and has all the plywood on all the outer walls, and then you put a layer of Tyvek and you're just like with a staple gun. Those kind of industrial staples. Well, a staple went into my tire. And as I spun the tire to see what the hell caused my flat, boom, there's the staple hanging out of the tire. So it was a slow leak. But, flat tires I'm prepared for. So I had a spare tube, I had my CO2 cartridge. The only problem I encountered was when I used the CO2 cartridge to inflate the tire and I pulled it off, air was rushing out of the valve stem, and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on? I thought maybe I broke the valve stem. And that would have been a fucking problem. But what happens is the CO2 cartridges, when you fill a tire with them, they're really ice cold. The air coming out of them is cold. Like the valve stem had ice all over it. And so the mechanism that inside the valve stem that's supposed to pop out and block the airflow from coming out was frozen and it wouldn't pop out. And so, but when I tightened down, it's a Presta valve, and that's different than a Schrader valve. You actually have to tighten a nut on the valve stem to close it off and to keep it from being pressed and letting air out. And so I was able to get it to stop rushing out, but I probably lost a few PSI. So I put the CO2 inflator back on, gave it a couple squirts, but it was pretty much empty. So, but the tire felt solid enough. I don't know what the PSI was. It doesn't have a gauge, but I felt like it was solid enough to get me where I had to go. And after I got back on the bicycle, I probably lost, aside from the walking and the slow ride on the flat tire across the bridge, I probably lost half an hour on that alone. But I left at 2:00 expecting to be out there at 5. And or I expected to be out there around 4:30, 5:00, way early. But you have to give yourself time because Google's going to give you bad directions. You might get a flat tire. There's 10 other things from Tuesday that could get in your way and cause a delay. So I give myself enough time for that, especially on a ride like that. Even to my rides to the bakery, I leave with enough. I try to get there half an hour before I'm supposed to work. That way, if I do get a flat tire, the 10 minutes it takes to change the flat tire, I'm still going to be on time. I'm going to be pissed off, but, it happens. You got to be prepared for a flat tire. It's just part of the game. Get the best tires that you can get for a commuter bike. For something like I'm doing with that bicycle has the puncture-resistant tires. I would get a lot more flats if I rode the Silver Bullet more. The tires on that bike are pretty good. I've been riding that back and forth to the bakery. I've had no problems. They're pretty decent tires. I know what tires I'm going to get when I have to get new tires. I'm getting Continental Gator Skin, which is the same brand that I use on the Red Rocket, but the Red Rocket are the Tour Ride. They're a little bit meatier. They're slower tires, but they're heavier duty and they're better puncture resistance and all that. But Continental tires are my favorite. They're just reliable. So for the amount of riding I've been doing and for the amount of flats I do very well. I get about 1,000 miles between flat tires. That's pretty damn good. Considering the tire lifespans are around 4,000-6,000 miles per tire, especially as a back tire. So the flat tire was a thing. The ride to and from. So just the amount. So the time waste. The wasting of time. 7 hours to go look at 7 hours to go look at an apartment and come home. 7 hours out of my day for that. And then you can pretty much write off the next day. Done. I was completely annihilated today. No energy at all. And that's a pattern. Every time I go on a bike ride of 40 miles or more, I can guarantee you that the next day is going to be completely useless to me. That's been a pattern since February 1st when I moved into this house. I have never been able to be productive the day after I go on a long bicycle ride. Not once. So I have to plan for that. I have to get used to that. I have to just understand that every time I go on a bicycle ride, the next day is going to be useless. I can get some things done, which I did today, but generally speaking, the day is lost. So that's a whole day of lost productivity. So every time I have to ride my bike 40 to 60 miles, 78 miles, whatever it is, how many, like, I'm going to get all kinds of comments, you lazy piece of shit, fuck you, stop complaining, all you do is complain, your life sucks, blah, 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 fuck you, Adam. How many of you fucking people could ride a bicycle 78 miles to go look at an apartment and then come back and be functioning the next day and feel like you can just get up and go and just do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again? How many of you can ride 40 fucking miles to go to an 8-hour job where you lift 15,000 pounds of fucking bags and boxes all day long and then turn around and come home and then feel like, oh, you're just going to jump out of bed the next day and I'm a go-getter, I have all this energy and I can do everything? No, you're not. No, none of you will. I don't know. I mean, maybe there might be one or two of you out there that can do it, but... And I'm not bragging, but what I'm saying is I'm in shape to do this. I've been riding my bicycle my whole life. I've gone on 800-mile bike rides. I have been able to cover 350 miles in 2 days. I've done 174 miles in a single day. I tried to do 200. I just couldn't hang. I literally almost rode my bicycle off a cliff because I fell asleep on the bicycle. 164, somewhere between 165 and 175 miles, I fell asleep at the wheel on the bike, and when I woke up, the front wheel of my bike went over a cliff, like a 20-foot drop, and the front wheel was halfway over. I slammed on the brakes and stopped the bike. My front wheel was halfway over a 20-foot drop straight down, and I had to carefully take my feet off the pedals and wobble my way backwards to get away from the edge of I almost went off a 20-foot drop because I fell asleep at the wheel on a bicycle. 165 miles, whatever it was about. It was about 10 o'clock at night by the time I got to that point. And my lights weren't very good on this ride. For long distance rides, I don't take the same kind of lights that I take on the short distance rides because you can't replace the batteries and you can't charge them when you're out in the middle of nowhere. So the lights that I would take on a ride like that are going to be like AAA, AA, any like lights that you can replace with standard batteries at a convenience store. And I almost went off a 20-foot cliff because I fell asleep at the wheel. And I ended up riding another 10. That woke me up. It did a really good job to wake me up. My heart was going boom, 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 boom for like the next hour. And I was able to ride to the next campsite along this trail. It's called the C&O Canal Trail. It starts out as the Great Allegheny Passage, and it goes from downtown Pittsburgh all the way to Cumberland, Maryland, where it turns into a trail called the C&O Canal and continues to Washington, D.C., for a total of about 350 miles completely off-road on rail-to-trails and an old canal towpath. Beautiful bike ride, but the C&O Canal has these canal locks that you have to ride through, and that's where I almost went off the 20-foot drop because like I said, I was asleep. I was asleep on the bicycle. Just like how you can fall asleep driving a car, you can fall asleep on a bicycle. If I had if I had some coffee in a water bottle, if I had filled a water bottle full of espresso or coffee or something like that, I could have made it 200 miles in a single day. I left at 4 in the morning. It was like 10 p.m., so I could have done it. I only needed like 26 more miles to get 200 in a day. I had a friend who lived in Harper's Ferry at the time, and I was trying to get to his place in a single day, but I didn't make it. I got to his place the next night. I got to his place like in the afternoon, It was like the middle of the afternoon. I could have rode all the way to Washington D.C. on the second day, 350 miles. But I wanted to hang out with this friend of mine, so I stopped in Harper's Ferry, which is 60 miles outside of D.C. But anyway, I've gone on long freaking bike rides before, and I can handle the distance. I can handle the time on the bike. The fact that I went 78 miles a few weeks ago made riding 60 yesterday feel like nothing. It really didn't feel like much. I hit the wall about 50 miles right now. 50 miles in one shot without any time to rest in the middle. Like, I go 40 miles to the bakery, 20 miles there, 20 miles back. But there's a stretch in the middle where I'm not on the bike. And it has an effect on how it feels and recovers and all that. I get a lot of water in me. I get a cookie. I eat food in between those. It's different. But if I'm out on a bike ride right now, and my fitness the way it is right now and everything, seems to be right around the 50 mile mark, I hit the wall. And they call it hitting the wall because your glycogen, your sugar in your bloodstream drops to like, boom, it's like that fast. You'll start to feel like, yeah, I'm feeling like I'm feeling like I need some food or I need a drink or something. You'll feel, and like you'll feel the salt, the grittiness in your shirt, like you're sweating, all your salt is leaving your body. Your electrolytes are just depleted, and all of a sudden you're just riding along and bam, it's like you almost feel like you're just gonna puke and fall over and die. And so I was starting to feel that yesterday. But like I said, I had stopped and eaten. I ate a fucking double quarter pounder with cheese like it was nothing. And I had a big old thing of iced tea. And I still have water left in my water bottles. So by the time I got down to, I was about, what was that, right around the 50 mile mark out of 60. It was like close. And I was feeling like I absolutely need to stop at the next convenience store or I'm going to hit the wall. I could tell it was like, I wasn't quite there, but I'm like, between here and the home, if I don't stop, it's going to hit me at the wrong spot. It's going to hit me when I'm on that dangerous road. And I'm going to hit the wall. And then who knows what's going to happen from there. I'll have absolutely no energy left. So I stopped at a convenience store. I got 2 big bottles of Gatorade and I chugged one of them completely, like just gone. And then I took the other one, filled up one of my water bottles with it, drank what was left over, and boom, those electrolytes, man, it's got what bikers crave for sure. Because you get the electrolytes back in your system, your body will respond like almost instantaneously. Whether you take electrolyte tablets, that's one thing. If you're going to go on a long ass ride like that, take those little electrolyte tablet packs. Drink it with a water after. For me, it's like around the 40-45 mile mark, I should take the electrolytes if I don't have Gatorade or something else like that. That would pretty much give me the energy I need to keep going. But it seems to be around the 50 mile mark I get hit hard. I used to be able to go like 80, 90 miles before I'd really start feeling it, and when I was younger, but right now 50 miles seems to be where it's like, oh my god, you gotta, like 50 miles is where, somewhere around 50 to 60 miles, somewhere around there. So I didn't quite hit it yesterday, but I'm like, I don't want it to happen before I get home. So I chugged Gatorade like crazy at this one place, and it was enough. It was like someone put a set of fresh batteries in me, and I had all this energy. I felt like the Tasmanian devil for the rest of the ride home. Tons of energy. I was flying. I was riding into a headwind, and I was making tracks. I was cruising. I was spinning a pretty high gear. I was going like, 17 to 20 miles an hour into a headwind. Plus my adrenaline was high because of how dangerous the road is that I was on, and I'm on edge the whole time. And I just want to get home like so bad that I'm just powering through it. But I had a lot of energy. Even Strava was like, holy shit, dude, that was a fast ride. In fact, I crushed a couple of my personal best times on some of those stretches of road. Um, it was pretty intense. It was a pretty intense ride, but it's such a drag. So I just have to plan for the foreseeable future. Every time I have to go on a bicycle ride like this, I have to be aware the day that I go on the bicycle ride is shot. Nothing's getting done because the whole entire day is going to revolve around that bicycle ride. I had just enough time to, like yesterday I had a meeting in the morning. I did a couple of things productive but not much after the meeting, and then I had to get ready at 2 and leave at 3. Didn't get back until 9 and I was done for the day. That's it. That's all I got. Today, now today, let's talk about I can talk about today because today was good and bad, but I'm shot out. I'm shot out so bad right now from this landlord shit. But the day started out, I got woke up out of bed. I wanted to sleep in. That would have helped my energy level, but the landlord came over early in the morning and he had a whole work crew with him and they were here to fix the hot water, and I'm like, okay, worthy cause. So, but I had to keep letting them. I couldn't get anything done because they were coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out all morning long up until about noon. So all I did was sit in this chair, watch YouTube videos, and screw around because I had no energy, and I had to keep letting people in and out of the place, opening the door, getting up out of the chair, open the door again. Finally, it got to the point where I just left the door unlocked and said, "Come on in." Like I just sat here, but people were just a lot of noise banging around, just, distractions. Nobody's going to be able to focus on anything with that shit going on around you, right in front of your face. You can't do anything. So the good news is it is April 30th today, and I have hot water, at least for now. Instead of the what was it? He told me he was going to get a 6-gallon hot water tank. He ended up getting a 29-gallon hot water tank. And after they hooked it up, they set the temperature to the maximum setting. I don't know if that's going to damage it in the long run, but I don't care. I'm not going to be here long enough to give a fuck. But the water's scalding hot right now. It's like hot enough to burn your hand. And I started getting caught up on dishes today, which was nice because the hot water, dishes come clean with no effort. I would fill up, a couple of things that were, I had a couple of pots and pans that were caked on that I hadn't washed in a few days. So I was able to soak them in hot water and they, clean right up, no problem. So I'm caught up on a lot of, I'm not quite 100%, but tomorrow I will be. On the dishes, I'll be able to get the place clean again because of the hot water. And so at some point this afternoon, I finally got to take a shower, like a real hot water shower. I took a fucking shower today. Oh, my hair, everything. After I got out of the shower and I sat down and I'm drying off and I had clean clothes on and, oh, look at me, man. I just took a shower for the first time and I don't even fucking know how long. I don't even know, oh my God, I've been through hell. I've been through such fucking hell. That shower felt, oh, I didn't even take I didn't even shave. I didn't do 100%. I'll take a shower each day, today, tomorrow, Friday, and on Friday I'll shave and get myself all nice and good looking, as good as I can, and so that when I go to work on Saturday, I'll be presentable and I'll be clean and I won't smell like fucking crap anymore. And people will know. People will know when they see me on Saturday. They'll be like, oh my God, you look like you got a shower. Because I've been looking rough. But everybody knows what's going on, so people have been. Nobody has given me any crap at all about my disheveled nature lately. And I appreciate that a lot because holy shit. Holy shit. um, so yeah, I took a fucking shower today. I hope, it. Let's see how long it lasts. But so I was saying in the previous videos you've been watching, I was really, 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 really trying to find a way to get out of here at the end of the month. And today is the last day of the month. And so I went and looked at these places yesterday. They were really neat. But the internet. So, okay, I'm going to tell you about the three. I've looked at 3 different places. Actually, technically, I've looked at 4 different places because yesterday when I went to look at this place this guy had listed, he also has another property right next door to it. And so he showed me both. So I'm gonna go one by one. The first place I went and looked at is only a few miles away from where I live right now. That was an easy one to go look at. I left at like 2 in the after. I literally left at like 2 in the afternoon that day. Went over, looked at the place, talked to them for a few minutes. When I came home, it was like 2:30, and I'm like, I thought I was gone longer than that, but I guess I was gone half an hour. So whatever, 10 minutes to get there. Hung out, talked to them for about 15 minutes. Came back 10 more minutes, whatever. I was gone just over a half hour. Okay, cool. That worked out. Much nicer place than this. Appliances, a nice bathtub, a nice shower. Not a horrible place, not a great place. It was kind of but way better than what I'm at right now. Bigger. I would have to pay the electric bill. And I'd have to make sure I can get internet there, but internet seems to be pretty plentiful at that location. Internet probably wouldn't be a problem, and I can take my T-Mobile router with me and deal with all the same bullshit I deal with here with T-Mobile. But regardless of that, internet wouldn't be an issue. The only drawback was no laundry, no washing machine, no washer and dryer hookups, and the closest laundromat is 2 miles away. So I'd have to take a backpack full of shit to a laundromat once a week and then sit, and I'd lose all that time going to. So aside from the bakery rides and all the shit and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to have to go and do laundry once a week. Here, I can do laundry here, and it doesn't cut into my productivity during the day. So that would be a problem. But is it a major problem? I don't think so. And there's like these weird apartment washing machines that you can get for like RVs and shit. You can literally set them in the bathtub. They're a couple $100 on Amazon, and you can wash small batches of clothes in them. And then you can either hang the clothes on a rack to dry, or you can get these tiny little dryers that plug into a standard 110 outlet, and they do an okay job. But you're going to be doing small loads. You're probably going to end up doing, for the amount of laundry that I have right now, because I'm way behind, I'm going to have to do 2 loads of laundry tomorrow in a full-size regular washing machine to get it done. At a laundromat, it would be 1 load in a big giant laundromat washing machine. But on a system like this, and one of these apartment size things I'm talking about, it would probably take 6 loads. So I'd be doing it all day long, but it's the kind of thing you can just walk away from. You don't have to be there babysitting the thing the whole day. You can it's just part of your routine on a Sunday or whatever. It's just something you do off to the side. And if you do it a couple of times a week, you might not have to do that. You might do 1 or 2 loads at a pop. So it's workable, but it's not calling me. I did work out a good price with the landlord. He would split the security deposit over the first 2 months, so I could pay the first month's rent and half of the security deposit to move in. And then the same thing the following month. That would help a lot with the move-in costs, and I would have more money available for whatever else I need to do. So that's option number one. Option number two is off the table. It was way out in the national forest area around here, and the setting was beautiful. It was super quiet, really chill kind of a place. It was like an RV park, but it was a tiny house in an RV park. All utilities included, including internet. But that's the kicker. That was the deal breaker. Way nicer tiny house than the one I'm living in right now. Split level, had an actual bathroom, an actual kitchen, and plenty of space. It also had washer and dryer hookups, but I'd have to get a washer and dryer. But it was out in the middle of nowhere. So the closest grocery store is 10 miles each way. Or I had to ride my bike 10 miles to the grocery store or do Amazon delivery or who knows what. There's just some things logistically that were going to be really difficult about this place. And I'm not even talking about the bakery, like riding my bicycle to the bakery and whatnot. I'm not even going to factor that into these. The first place I looked at, bicycle ride would be about the same. Place number 2, the bicycle ride would be 29 miles each way instead of 20 each way. What's 9 more? Fuck it at that point. You know what I mean? I would have to leave earlier, and it wouldn't be fun. The roads are kind of rough out near the place, but with a lower tire pressure, I could probably handle it. The day that I went out there, my tires were rock hard, and I think that played a factor on a couple of these rough roads. And yesterday I went 20 pounds. I went about 10 to 15 pounds lighter yesterday on the tire pressure, and I felt the difference on some of those rougher roads. The internet just wasn't viable. The RV park had a Wi-Fi that you could tap into, but when I did a speed test with my phone, it was really slow. And then I did a speed test for T-Mobile's 5G, and it was really slow. And the owner of the RV park, she was a really nice lady. We had a good conversation, but she said that they were getting fiber optic installed, but she didn't know when, and blah, 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 and this and that. And then they installed it, but it's not. And then I called the company directly and talked to them. They told me it might take up to 4 months to run a fiber optic cable directly to the tiny house cabin. At which point I would have to go 4 months with horrible internet or no internet at all. Deal breaker. I can't do it. It's not even possible. So I had to cross that one off. 78-mile bike ride for pretty much nothing other than enjoying the scenery, I guess. So place number 3. Now, I will not waste my time going on a bike ride for a place like this without, first I'm talking to the property owner and asking all kinds of questions, making sure that I'm not going to go out there and waste my time. But there's some questions that I'll get into that. I don't talk about the criminal background if I don't have to before going. Like, there's certain things I want to know before I go, but there's certain things that I'm going to hold back on until I meet the person face to face, because when I talk to people face to face and look them in the eye and have a conversation with them, they have a different opinion about me when I drop the whole criminal record thing. I'll talk about that in a minute. So yesterday was place number 3 and 4. 60 miles, like I said, whatever. The guy was really cool when I met him. The drawback, the pros where it's out in the country, same kind of vibe. In fact, it was a better vibe than the tiny house on the RV park way out in the national forest. It's actually really close to a town, which blows my mind that I can't get internet there. Once again, it was the internet's the deal breaker. It's on a dirt road, a lot of privacy, huge plot of woods, huge woods behind the place. There's like woods, like straight up thick woods. It's very private, very woodsy, really, really beautiful setting. Big yard. Um, the drawbacks were he's like, well, there's a stove in here and a fridge, but if they don't work, you got to buy your own. Because he's like, I'm not supplying. He's like, these were just here or whatever. These were already here, a former tenant or something like that. He's like, I am not fixing the appliances. He's like, you have to deal with the appliances on your own. So I might have to get a washer, a dryer, a stove, and a range, electric range stove combo, and a fucking refrigerator, or whatever I want to do in that situation. But the appliances are all on me. And so I'm like, well, that's going to be fucking expensive. Even if I had the means, if I had a pickup truck, a van, or, I would have to rent a U-Haul van every time I want to do this. A U-Haul van is going to be $20 just to pick it up. But then all the miles that you're going to put on it and everything, by the time it's over, you're spending $100 on a U-Haul van. So it's just, fuck, man, having to buy appliances. That was not a deal breaker, but I'm gonna be living rough for a couple of months, and I'm just got done not having hot water and not being able to take showers, and now I'd be moving into a place where the appliances don't, like, what if the fucking fridge doesn't work? Yes, I could get a small fridge on Amazon like the one I currently have, but it's like, what, $400 that I don't have. So how much money this fucking piece of shit that I'm dealing with right now is costing me so much fucking money. It's pissing me off just to think about how much money's going down the fucking toilet. When the fuck am I even going to be able to think about owning a car? If I can't even get this will be the 5th time in a year I've had to move. If I can't even have a stable roof over my head for more than 3 months, how the fuck am I ever going to afford to get a fucking car? So, but just, I'm complaining and I'm venting to you guys, but I'm also, this is like a documentary about, like, watch all the shit that I'm going through and look at how fucking difficult life is. All because you made one fucking dumbass mistake. I went from making $150,000 a year. Now people are like, oh, if you made that much money, why didn't you have any money, blah, 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 saved and all this and that and the other thing. First of all, if I had any money saved and if I had any assets and if I owned a house, the federal government would have taken it all. They would have taken it all. They would have taken it all and then stuck me with a public defender and made me pay for the public defender by handing over all of my assets, my home, my vehicles, my savings, 401k, retirement. They would have taken everything I had. They would have given me a $200,000 fine to go along with my prison sentence. So no matter what I had, it would have been gone. They would have taken it all. So even if I had anything before this happened, I wouldn't have anything. But aside from that, I only hit my stride a few years before I was arrested. And prior to that, I had a lot of debt and a lot of problems. And I was barely struggling. I was living paycheck to paycheck for a long fucking time. And I was going through periods of unemployment. It's a volatile career. When you're up, you're up. When you're down, you're down. I could go 6 to 8 months without a job from time to time. But when I would get a job, it would be a good paying job. And then when you do jump from one job to the next, you tend to get big raises for it. They call it job hopping, but you don't get fucking raises by staying at one job for 20 fucking years. But you can triple or quadruple your pay by going from one job to the next, to the next, to the next. So anyway, I was making almost $150 a year. lived in a beautiful home, had my kids. You know, I was a father to my daughter's a full grown adult. She's she's almost 30 now. My son was 12 when this happened. He's 15 now. And I had vehicles. I had a comfortable, good life. And now I'm literally struggling one day to the next to survive. If I broke my arm, if I broke a leg, if I broke a bone, if I fell off my bicycle and broke a bone, that's it. I'm dead. Done. Homeless. I could be homeless. I could go back to prison for breaking a fucking bone because I won't be able to go to work at the bakery. Like, if I broke my leg, if I broke my arm, I would literally be fucking risking going back to prison and having a broken arm and being homeless because I can't pay my bills. Like, I'm literally struggling to survive one day to the next. Not 1 week to the next, not one paycheck to paycheck. One day to the next day to the next day. I'm in survival mode. Literally trying to survive one more day. Some people live paycheck to paycheck. I'm literally surviving tomorrow. Like, I don't know how I can survive past tomorrow until tomorrow gets here. And so, today, what else happened? So for the last 2 days, T-Mobile, my home internet connection, the only internet connection I can get in this tiny little shithole, T-Mobile's been fucked up and broken. So my internet speed is supposed to be 300 megabits per second down and 30 megabits per second upload. For the last 2 days, it's been 0.10 upload or download and 0.01 upload. It's been slower than a dial-up modem. I had to have a Zoom meeting yesterday and the meeting kept cutting out. Dude could barely hear me talk. I was cutting out constantly. He could barely hear a sentence. We had all kinds of problems during the Zoom meeting yesterday because the internet was broken. I've had T-Mobile since February 1st. I think I've paid for 1 month of it. Because every time because this thing goes down so much and has so many problems and this company is so horrible that every month I get them to give me a $50 credit on my bill. I've done this like 3 times now. I've complained to the point where they give me a $50 credit on my bill. Because I'm like, why am I paying for this internet when it's never working? And it literally almost never works. So for 2 straight days, today that was another reason why it was a lost day. My internet was so slow I couldn't even check my email. And it was both on the phone. This phone that I'm using is T-Mobile. And the T-Mobile home internet they were both down all day. Completely unusable. I could load up a web page that has images, take like 10, 12 minutes just for the page to load. Check my email, about 4 minutes just to load a single email. Like, completely unusable for anything other than fucking around and reading some news articles. Couldn't watch any videos or anything today. I'd get on the chat. In order to talk to T-Mobile support, it's so bad that you have to talk to them on Twitter. You literally have to have your tech support conversations for T-Mobile over their Twitter account. They don't have an online chat, and when you call the people that you're talking to somebody in India that can't help you. If you want the Americans to help you, you got to go through Twitter. So that's how I got my $50 credit on my bill today, because I complained for the last 2 days straight over Twitter. And the internet connection, put it this way, to do a speed test to see how fast your internet connection is, my internet connection was slow the last 2 days that I couldn't do a speed test, because the thing would just time out and never start the speed test. Because the internet, when the internet is too slow to do a speed test, that's slow. So I've been dealing with that for the last 2 days. So the hot water got fixed, but as soon as the hot water got fixed, the landlord was up my ass about the check, about paying rent. And it's the last day of the month. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll pay you the first is tomorrow. I'm like, fuck you, I'll pay tomorrow. It's due on the 1st. I'm not paying him 1 day early. I have the money order now. I went and got it, but I'm like, you know what, fuck you, I'm making you wait another day just because. You made me wait 3 months for hot water, you fucking asshole, so I'll pay the rent on the due date. I was paying it a week in advance, but I'll never do that again. It's going to be paid on the due date. That way you can just fucking wait. You can just fucking wait, get your money on the due date. It's due on the 1st, you'll get it on the 1st. You're not getting it a day before. Even I'll get the fucking money order a week in advance, and I'll just keep it in my fucking drawer until it's the 1st, and then I'll put it in your box. Whatever, dude. I don't give a fuck anymore. I would have been paying a week early if it wasn't for this shit. But you had to fuck around and you'll find out. So I went and looked at those places yesterday. Like I said, the appliances were an issue, but the places were, both of them were nice, secluded. They checked off all the boxes except the appliances. I'm like, that's a pain in the ass, but it's a pain in the ass that can be dealt with. Much easier if I had a vehicle to deal with it, but even without a vehicle, I can deal with it. The other factor, though, the internet was not good. So the guy gave me the internet company. There was coax hookups right in the place. I go to their website today, and the screen pops up basically telling me there's no internet available at my address, but they're going to be installing fiber optic lines very soon. And I could sign up on a wait list to get notified when fiber optic's available at that address. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was just told yesterday that they had cable running to the house. Like a cable internet. I don't care if it's fiber optic. So I called the company and I waited on hold for almost an hour, but I just had the phone off to the side. And then this rude sales lady, she wasn't even a sales lady. I don't know what it was. Basically, it's another one of these hillbilly fucking internet companies that service rural areas where they have a monopoly, and so they give you really shitty service at super expensive rates. And you can just eat, you can deal with it, or you can go choke on a dick because they don't care. Because when these cable companies have a monopoly somewhere, like a rural, and this was like 5 miles outside of downtown Conroe, Texas. Conroe's a pretty big town with a lot of shit going on. It's like maybe 4 miles outside of the town. Like, and it's right on a main road. There was a fucking Sonic, a McDonald's, there was a whole bunch of stuff right fucking there. But this was tucked back on this dirt road. All of a sudden, it's untouchable. So this lady was rude to me. She told me that internet was available there, but the highest speed that they could offer me was 50 megabits per second and 10 megabits per second upload speed. And I'm like, well, that's kind of weak because that's not going to be what it actually is when they hook it up. And then she told me it would be $70 a month plus a $100 hookup fee. And I'm looking at the website right in front of me, and I said, your website, I'm looking at it right now, it says for the 50 megabit per second connection that you offer, I'm looking at your website, it says $39 a month for a new customer for the first year. I'm like, why are you quoting me $70 a month? And she got rude with me, and she wouldn't answer my question. And I said, you know what, I don't got fucking time to argue with you. I just wanted to make sure I could get internet there. And I hung up on her. I was pissed. She got rude with me, and then I told her off and hung up the phone. I was nice right up until you got rude. Somebody gets rude with me, fuck you. I will not. Done. I'm done. I don't have any patience for rude assholes on the phone. And, so it's like the internet is like, I asked her if there was a time frame, like she could tell me like how much longer before I could get fiber optic installed at that house. No idea. So I'm like, if my only option for internet is a sketchy cable modem that may or may not get 50 megabits per second and 10 megabits upload, which is slow, but it would be enough. Everything's just way too fucking sketchy internet-wise. And I don't feel comfortable dropping all that money and going through the hassle to move there if the internet's going to be a huge hassle. If the internet turns into a problem where it goes down all the time and it's not reliable and it fucking sucks and it's super slow, it'll kill me. It'll kill my fucking freelance business. I can't do it. I won't be able to afford to live there. I won't be able to pay my bills if I can't do that work. It's the only thing keeping me surviving right now. Because the bakery's not paying me enough to survive. That pays me, that's like my grocery money. The money to pay my bills comes from the freelance work. And that's a fucking miracle that I'm able to do that at all right now. And so that was place 3 and 4. So option 1 is still on the table as far as I'm aware. But now we're at the first of the month and I'm paying for another month to live here because in order for me to move, it's not feasible at this point for me to move. I would have had to move today. I would have had to pack my shit and move today. Get a U-Haul and everything else. Like, it's not even in the cards. And then this guy yesterday, I said, well, if I gave you money to hold the place to move in on June 1st, the guy was like, oh, no. I will only hold it for 2 weeks. And I'm like, what? So you're going to have people move in the middle of the month? And he goes, yeah. He goes, how it works. He goes, I'll take the first month's rent and the deposit. That has to be in my hand. You can't move. So there's no negotiation there. I got to come up with almost $2,000 just to get the keys. Then I have to turn on the electricity. It's going to be a fucking security deposit probably. Then I got to get the internet set up, $100 installation fee plus whatever the fuck else. Then I got to get a moving van. Then I got to pay for that. Then I got to do this, that, and the other thing. Before I know it, I need like $3,000 to move into that place. And then I don't even know if the refrigerator's going to work. I don't know if the stove's going to work. I don't know if the appliances will work. I got to figure out how I'm going to do laundry until I get a washing machine and dryer. I don't even know where the fuck I could even go to do my laundry. It might be a 10-mile bicycle ride each way just to go do fucking laundry. Or I wash clothes in a fucking bathtub or a shower. I don't even know if the one place had a bathtub. I think the other one had I don't even know. They have a shower. I might have to wash clothes in a shower like when I was in the fucking prison in New York City where they gave me one pair of underwear to last fucking 2 months. And sometimes I'd have to free ball it and wash my fucking underwear in a prison sink or a shower and then hang them up to dry. And then when they were dry, I could put on my fucking one pair of underwear and walk around in my funky-ass prison underwear for another fucking week before I wash them again. So that'll be how I'm living if I don't have a way to do my laundry. So I'm like, yeah, after the 60 miles yesterday, the place was beautiful. There were so many things I liked about it. But internet's a problem and appliances. Like what I don't have money to be fucking buying a goddamn house full of appliances. Even if it's just a washer, dryer. I mean, if you could supply a fucking oven and a fridge, I could handle, okay, I'll get a washer and dryer. But if I got to worry about, like, the fridge and the oven looked beat. The oven looked fucking beat. The fridge looked beat. Like, they did look like they might not work. But I would never know until I move in and turn. Like, I move in and I bring all my food with me, and then the fridge doesn't work. Fuck, I just lost all my food. So, it's fucking, like, I don't know. I didn't get the impression that the guy wouldn't fix anything if it breaks. You're not really going to know until you know on something like that. The guy seemed like he wouldn't pull that kind of shit, though. Couple of really cool places. They would big porch. Like, there was a lot going for these places, and I don't want to completely count them out. But I'm gonna have to talk to the guy. I told him he really went, okay, so when I told him, he asked me if I had any felonies, and when I told him what I did, he looked at me and he goes, wow. He's like, I like you even more now that you told me that. A lot of Trump supporters around Texas. So, you know, when they find out what I actually went to prison for, they're like, this guy was like, oh my God, I think I want you as my tenant even more. Now that you've told me that. He's like, I just don't want any fucking child molesters or drug dealers living here. So as long as you didn't do any of that, we're good. He's like, and fuck, man, you went to prison for that? He's like, what about all these people that threaten Donald Trump every day and they don't go to fucking prison? He's like, no wonder you went to prison. At first, I thought that was weird because if you're threatening Donald Trump's life, why? I'm like, no, I was anti-Biden. He goes, oh, that's why you went to prison. He's like, you could say whatever the fuck you want about Donald Trump and they wouldn't have dared to give you a fucking trophy for it. You'd get the Presidential Medal of Honor from that creepy old dickhead. But, yeah, you can't say anything about Joe Biden or his cronies or, yeah, they're going to send you to fucking prison, that's for sure. You'd be breaking rocks in Siberia by the time it's all over with those fucking assholes. But anyway, so I went and looked at this place. It checked off so many boxes. But it didn't feel like I could not. I took my checkbook with me. Oh, none of these fucking landlords will take a personal check anymore. Like, that's taboo. Okay, fine. They all want to be paid electronic payment I can do. Having to pay with a fucking money order, having to go to a goddamn store that sells a fucking money order and then get a money order like I had to do today. So today, that's another thing I had to do. I had to ride 2 miles to the grocery store on my bicycle to go get a money order. I locked my bike up to a signpost in the parking lot, went into the store, got my money order, came out, my bicycle was on the ground. I freaked the fuck out because this is that grocery store where the first time I went in there were all these fucking homeboys walking in the front of the grocery store with their pants pulled down. Like I just went back to fucking prison. And I'm like, the fuck I'm going. I didn't want to go shopping at this grocery store, but they sell the glass bottle milk. So I ended up going and get a bottle of milk because I can't get that at Target. So I got a bottle of milk. I got my money order. I walked back out and I look, my bicycle's on the ground. And I thought somebody fucking tried to steal it. And I look at it. I picked it up off the ground. The lock is still around the signpost. And it's a U-lock. It shouldn't have fallen on the ground. But I'm looking. The wheels are intact. Nothing was touched. Tires have air in them. Like, nobody touched the bicycle. What happened was there's a 33-mile-an-hour wind ripping through there today. And the wind blew my fucking bicycle down on the ground. But I thought someone tried to steal it while I was in there. And I was pissed at first, and then I'm like, wait a minute. So then, yeah, I'm only 2 miles from home, but I had to ride home in a 33-mile-an-hour headwind, and I could only go like 8 miles an hour the whole way back. And so that was difficult. Even Strava, when I got home, was like, that was your slowest ride in the last 3 months. That 2 miles to get back from the grocery store was the slowest. If I put it this way, if I had to ride all the way back from the bakery today in that strong of a wind, would have been a 3-hour ride instead of an hour 15 minutes. There may have been sections that I could put my head down and cut through the wind, but with a 33-mile-an-hour headwind blowing you backwards the whole way, that would have been a really, really tough ride. And so, I don't know, man. That today was just, I got my money order. It's sitting right here. I'm just like, I'll pay you tomorrow. I'm not doing it today. I don't give a shit. All I'd have to do is go put it in a box. But I'll wait till tomorrow. And there were other things today. It was just like one of these, every time I tried to do something, it would go wrong. And then, like, my phone is on the fritz. And it's like, I don't know if it's something that I need to worry about, or if it's just, like I said, if something needs cleaned. But yesterday on the bike ride, it was acting a little weird. And then all day today, it's like the charging port doesn't work right. So if it gets to the point where the phone where I can't charge it with a cable, and I have to use a wireless charger every time I charge it, and then I can't plug the cable into the computer to get the videos off and all that. Like, if the USB port on this phone goes bad, I have to go buy another phone. Like, it's not even I'll have to go get another phone like that day. And I'll have to figure out what the fuck to do from there. And that, hundreds of dollars gone again. So it's like, I don't know how I'm going to survive. It just seems, the only positive thing I got out of today was I took a shower and I sent an invoice out. So, and it was a decent size invoice. I put in some hours in the last couple of weeks, and it definitely, when I put the invoice together, I was like, oh, wow, good. I need that. And I got plenty of work to do for the next month. And honestly, if I have to stay here for another month, at least financially, that'll soften the blow of moving. Because if I can find a place within the next week or two, I've got 2 more that I can go look at. But once again, one's going to be a 60-mile bike ride, and it's probably going to be 70 by the time it's done, because they always end up being more than I estimate. It'll be at least 60 miles, but if it was a good place to live, I would be 10 miles from the bakery. So I could work at the bakery more. Maybe 14 miles from it would be much less distance than what I'm riding right now, and it would be better roads I don't know for sure, but I know that the roads would be decent in terms of, I mean, for around here. It's still a suicide mission anywhere you go, but I feel like the roads would be better than here. So I'm going to call that place tomorrow. There's another place that I might be able to go look at that seem, it's not super hard to find places to look at, but these landlords, they're flaky as hell. They're really, really difficult to get a landlord to agree to show you a place. It's like, don't you want to rent out your fucking property, you fucking dingbat? Like, they're flaky as hell. And if they flake on me too much, I'm just like, I'm not going to respond at this point. So there's one that I need to reach out to, try to set something up. She has 2 properties available, but she's a real estate. It's one of these ones on Zillow. So every single rental listing on Zillow is managed by a real estate agent. So that's a red flag right there. That's somebody in between you and the property owner. That's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. They're rude, they're fucking obnoxious, they're total douchebags. I don't want to fucking deal with this. But the one place seems like it would be worth it, price-wise. seems decent. I'm going to have to take a second look at it. But if I can talk to this real estate agent, she sent me two, same real estate agent managing two different properties, both of which would be good. So I'm going to probably give her a call tomorrow. But that's going to be a long bicycle ride. Like I said, I'm not going to waste a trip to make a 60-mile bicycle. Now, one of them, I like Saturday at the bakery or Monday, I could try to schedule it for like 5, 6 o'clock. And then I leave the bakery. I'd have to schedule, if I could do like a 6 o'clock showing on Monday or Saturday, I could leave the bakery and get there on time. And then just turn around and go home from there, which is a long fucking ride, but, you know. So post bakery, I would have to ride 30. I would have to go 20 miles, work all day at the bakery, and then go 14 miles to the place, then turn around, come 14 miles back, then another 20 to go home. Or I could go there directly one day, and I would literally have to ride right past the bakery. It's on the way from here to there. I already mapped it out. Just a quick, like, bicycle directions. I didn't, get nitty-gritty details, but the bike route would take me right past the bakery. So if I had to make a special trip just to go there and back, I'm looking at like 60-something miles to do it. But I wouldn't. Do I do it on the day? I don't know. Ride 20 miles, work 8 hours at a bakery, ride 15 miles, look at a place, ride 15 miles back to where the bakery is, and then another 20 miles home. That sounds like a wonderful fucking day. Wonderful time. So, I don't know. Nothing's really like... I don't know. I'm so fucking lost right now. This landlord situation, I'm not lying, it is turning me into a prick. I got shitty with someone today. Someone who's been pretty nice to me and really like wasn't trying to be mean to me said something to me and it just pissed me off, and I was like, I don't got time to deal with your fucking shit today. And I just was like, fuck off. And I was like, in that whole like, I feel bad, but and then I'm like, it just kind of puts me back when I was living in Jamestown and dealing with someone there. And during that whole time, before I became homeless, there were two landlords doing the same shit to my ex. The landlord to her business was trying to throw her out of the... was trying to rip up their lease contract and basically illegally evict her from a business. Even though she had a contract, she had a lease for 5 more years. And it was a ironclad lease. I don't know exactly what happened there because we went our separate ways. But this guy was doing some crazy shit to try and drive her out and retaliate against her for not letting him steamroll over her. And then we had an apartment, and the landlord to the apartment was a total fucking slumlord and wouldn't fix anything and said he was going to do all this shit and didn't do anything. And like, the mirror image of what I'm going through, she couldn't take a shower in the apartment for months. Same thing I'm going through. Like, when I'm sitting here, I'm like, my God, it's like the same exact thing. Like, literally, I couldn't take a shower for 3 fucking months. And then this fucking landlord's doing all this crazy bullshit. It's like an exact mirror of what was going on a year ago. Like a mirror image of it. And then the landlord's starting to threaten me and do all this shit on April 3rd, which is the day I came home from prison and walked into that apartment back in Jamestown. And like the amount of negativity, like hate. Someone told me today that you're so full of hate, it's crazy right now. And I'm like, I don't got any fucking time to talk to you about this fucking bullshit. Or I fucking lost it. And I'm like, I don't have any reason to be mad at that person. And I'm like, it's just like, I realized again that this landlord situation has turned me into a fucking monster. An absolute fucking hate-filled monster. I'm ready to fucking rip someone's head off at the slightest provocation right now. Because of what this fucking scumbag has done. You know, somebody was giving me shit on the comments a while back saying that, you know, all you do is sit around and blame everybody else for your problems. I'm blaming the motherfucker that caused the fucking problems. I pay my rent on time. I haven't had hot water. I didn't even have a running shower for the last month. I haven't been able to take fucking showers for 3 fucking months. I didn't have hot water until today. I'm blaming the person who fucking did that. I'm blaming the person who came at me on April 3rd and told me I gotta pay $200 a month more in rent, or I can hit the road at the end of the month and he'll have me thrown out and throw all my shit out in the street. That's who I'm blaming for my fucking problems right now. All I did was pay the fucking rent on time as agreed in the lease. So, yeah, I am blaming somebody else for my fucking problems right now. But I have turned into an absolute fucking monster. Like, I'm literally ready to rip, like, the slightest fucking provocation is going to set me off, and I have no patience for anybody or anybody's shit right now, even if they're not, like, the comment section, like, whatever. I just have absolutely the slightest thing setting me off right now. And it's getting worse and worse every day that I'm going through this. It's been, it's April 30th, so 27 days since the motherfucker threatened me on April 3rd. 27 days is all it took to turn me into a fucking monster. Like a complete fucking monster. And I'm looking at, you know, I cannot help but wonder, it's not that, like, don't take this as, you know, I want to go back and patch things up with whatever and whoever. No, that's done. That's in the past. Someone throws you out in the fucking street to be homeless and treats you like total shit for a month and a half before doing it. No, that's not forgivable. But what I'm saying is, I can at least understand right now that she probably wasn't in the right frame of mind. Like, if I was in a relationship right now, I would be treating my significant other one little provocation and I'd be like, you fucking bitch. Or, you know, I wouldn't say that, but I could definitely see that if I was in a relationship right now going through this shit, and if my girlfriend or whoever gave me some fucking shit, I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't be in a relationship. I wouldn't be in a relationship anymore because I would have said something or done something by now, just because of how out of my mind I am all of a sudden. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if I was with somebody who cared about me and was supportive and had my back or whatever, that might actually be something that helps calm my mind. But I could just see the stress of this the stress of this, like having my livelihood and my roof over my head threatened when I'm just trying to struggle from one day to the next to begin with, and someone's trying to rip the rug out from under me and threaten me and take away my livelihood and try to cause me to be fucking homeless again, you're gonna fucking, I'm not gonna say the words, but something else is gonna happen before that happens. There will be something else that happens that will happen before I'm out in the street and homeless and totally destitute and, you know, completely lose everything again. For sure. Like, I don't have, you back somebody against the wall, like you back a rattlesnake up against the wall and it can't get away, and you're going to get bit. And all I'm saying is I can understand how dealing with two fucking crazy ass landlords pulling all kinds of illegal bullshit and slumming it up and not fixing anything and making it so you can't take a shower for over a month. Like, I can definitely see how that would make you go so fucking crazy that you might do and say things that you might not otherwise have done. Because I'm saying shit and doing shit that I would not otherwise do. Like, it's turned me into a fucking nutcase. In the just 27 days, I'm a complete fucking train wreck. Mentally, like, I'm a fucking basket case right now. And no matter how hard I try to stay positive and try to get out of that funk, day after day after day, I'm dragged right back into it. And the smallest things, like having a shit-ass broken internet connection for the last 2 days when I'm trying to do work. I can't have a Zoom meeting with a client because the internet's gone. Now, the client was cool with it. He wasn't mad about it. We still figured out how to have our, we still got what we need done. But it was a fucking slog to get through it. And it's like, and he understands he knows the details of what's going on. And he's totally understanding. And we talked about that stuff even. And he's got his own stuff going on. And we talked about that stuff too. And it was like, it just feels like spiritual attack because I'm about to level up. But the dark forces that be do not want me to get ahead. And I don't know. I'm kind of falling out. I'm tired. I'm going on for an hour and 40 minutes plus the other video I shot earlier today. So I'm gonna wrap this up. But as of today, I'm not gonna tell you all the details about everything that's going on with this fucking crazy landlord situation, but it's bad, dude. It's bad. And I think I'm just gonna have to tough it out and suffer for another month. But I'm already, like, I might call up the option number 1 and see if that place is still available. Go down and put money down just go drop money on it tomorrow to hold it if I can move in June 1st and just deal with the fact that I'll have to go do laundry. But I'll have the, I don't know. But a bad landlord can really fucking turn your life into an absolute nightmare. Like, that's an important... All these landlords want to do a fucking background check on you, criminal background check. They want you to show them paycheck stubs. They want you to show them proof of income. You need to check the fucking background of the landlord. You need to check that fucking guy out, that girl out, whoever it is. You need to do a background check on them just like they have to do a background check on you. That is the number one. I will never fucking rent from somebody again without doing some sort of due diligence and making sure that I know what I'm getting into. I will never, ever, ever sign a lease without poking and prodding and see if I can dig up some dirt on somebody, because I could have dug up all the fucking dirt in the world on this guy with just a few simple searches before I moved in here, and that would have been enough to tell me not to do it. But at the same time, I only had a week left, so I had to do something, and I was in panic mode, and I just took the easiest path to get off the fucking to get to the next level. So with that, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll give you the updates as we move through this. Peace.